Are you gay? No. But do your parents know you're gay? No. So today we're talking a little bit about logical forces. I know that doesn't sound like it makes much sense, especially when you look at it in the title of a magic video. Magic doesn't have any logical sense. But today we're going to be talking about 3 logical forces. Logical meaning forces that make sense, something that would actually make sense in the mind of the spectator and doesn't seem completely off the wall. Like you're not doing one of these forces that involves mixing the cards like this, doing one of these moves. You're not doing that. You're spreading the cards and you're having the spectator pick a card. Magic's just terrible. Magic is one of these things that's awful, and trying to make it as logical as possible is just my attempt to remediate this art. So let's just get into the video. Oh yeah, and I feel like a fresh deck of Bin Wang playing card. Smells like the factory that it was made in. This deck had Corona before Corona was a thing. So the first logical force that I would like to teach you is based on a spread call. Now spread call is probably my favorite move in the history of Magic because it allows you to control cards. It allows you to pretty much do anything you want with a single card, or maybe up to pretty much an entire deck of cards, because you could call pretty much the entire deck. So you could do a lot with a simple little bit of a call. Now where could you learn the call to maximum efficiency? Well, the Pigcake Magic Academy, $5 a month, 2 videos every single week going over everything. Card stuff, you got some coin stuff. $10 a month is the Mentalism Academy, but that's well worth it because then you get 5 videos a week. What? 5 videos a week for $10 a month? That sounds like a steal, but you're getting it. But $5 a month gets you 2 videos every single week, including the piggybacker videos where you get 2 tutorials that I don't post anywhere else. Oh boy, man, it just seems like there's a lot to do there. There's a lot to do there. So go and check it out. Now what you're doing here is you're gonna have the spectator pick a card and you're gonna have them touch whichever card they want. Let's say they happen to touch this one right over here. Well, guess what? In showing them the card, you've already forced it. They don't know it, but you know it. You know that you forced this card, the 3 of clubs. And it makes sense because I'm spreading the cards, I'm having them touch one, I don't want them to take it out of the deck, and I'm just showing it, I'm looking the other way. So this is one of those things that, in my mind, makes sense as to how you're gonna have a spectator pick a card. So all we're gonna do here is we're gonna spread the cards, and at any point in time, you're gonna call the card that you're gonna force. Now, usually people like to have it fourth from the top of the deck. The reason for that is because you have ample space to spread and call that card so that then you could put it under the spread. It doesn't matter. You could have a pinky break underneath the card as you spread it. As long as you know where that card is, you're gonna be able to call it. So all we're doing it here is we're just going to spread, in this case, to the 3 of clubs. We're gonna use our dirty little fingertips to pull that card to the right. So we're putting pressure with our thumb on top. So by putting that pressure with my thumb up here and using my dirty little fingers to pull that card towards the right, you see what that does? I could spread the rest of the cards. I could spread all the cards in the deck and that card is still there under my little dirty, nasty, disgusting control. So now I could have the spectator touch any card. As they just touch it, you don't have to take it out. They touch whichever card they want. Let's say they touch this one. Notice that this has been going on the entire time. I've just had this card there the entire time. All I gotta do is just put this half over here as I use my fingers to square that card up with the actual card that they touched. So all I'm doing one more time, I'm calling that card just here to the right. They touch whichever card they want. Wherever card they touch, I'm just gonna put this half of the cards as a bracer, I guess. And then I'm gonna use that to square this card up as I turn my hand to show the card that they picked. Now here's how it looks like in speed for those of you guys that are from Central America. Just because I feel like you guys are not only central of America, but you're also centered on the spectrum. So here, all you're gonna do, you're gonna call the 4th card from the top of the deck. They're gonna touch whichever card they want. Let's say they happen to touch this one over here. And as they square it up, so as you square it up rather, see, in thinking about Central America, I just get all loopy. But you're just gonna square it up as you show the actual card itself to the spectator and tell them to remember it. You could square it up, hand it to them, they could mix it, and of course you're ready to go. So all in all, it's a very, very nice little force here, and it's pretty effective in being something that you would actually do if you're having the spectator touch a card from the deck or take a card out. You ever deep throat a chicken wing just to see if you would like it? So the next force is from Gary Ouellette. Gary Ouellette, and I've talked about this force many times on the Academy. I've also talked about it many times here. It's a very effective force. If you think outside the box, you could do so many things with this. Maybe do it face up. That's a little bit of a hint there. Maybe doing it face up. There's a lot of things you could do with this particular force. But the card is going to start on the bottom, and it just looks like this. The spectator's asked to touch whichever card they want. Let's say they touch this one over here, right? You're just going to square it up and show the card and say, I want you to remember that card, sir. I don't want to even look anywhere near where you're looking. Can you remember that? Perfect. Go ahead and mix up the deck. And of course, that card is more than forced, because not only did I force it on them, but also I forced it on them from weeks previous. All right, this is a card that I've had in my mind that I was going to force them to pick from weeks previous. So this is the only time where you could legally force something upon another human being, and it's not going to get you 25 to life. So I'm just out here getting a legal thrill from forcing people to do things that they wouldn't otherwise do legally. So here, we're just gonna cut the card to the middle. You notice that? So in this case, let's say the force card is gonna be the 8 of spades. And sometimes, by the way, people complain that maybe I might show a card as an example, and then at the end of when I'm done teaching it, it's a different card. Listen, I cut the video. All right, I cut the video sometimes. Sometimes I make mistakes. I have to come back in. I'm not gonna get the same card, okay? So you could just get your okay, so the card's going to be the 2 of spades here, and we're going to have the spectator touch any card they want. Now, we need them to touch the card above the spread. So in this case, when we have a break right there above the 2 of spades, we need for them to touch a card above the spread. We don't want them to go below the spread, because then we can't do the force. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to have them touch any card, and we're going to say, do me a favor, touch one of these. Don't say touch any card. Say touch one of these. Go ahead. Whatever card they touch, all you're going to do is you're going to out jog that card. So you're just going to out jog that card, which is a fancy way of saying I'm going to stick it out closer to them. So that's all that's happening. Remember, you have your little bit of a break here, right? Your little bit of a separation. And all you're going to do here is you're going to push in that card flush with the deck at the same time that you're going to lift up at your break. So that's it. That's as simple could be. You're just going to square it up and show the card at your break. It just looks like you're literally squaring the card up and showing it to them. But all you're doing is squaring it up and picking up at your break. Again, you're the one in control here. All right, when you were younger and your father was not in your life, maybe you weren't in control at that point. But now you're in control. So you're squaring it up and lifting it up at the break and showing them the card. At this point, you're just squaring it up and giving it to them. Maybe you could have them mix it up. It doesn't matter, because you know the card already. Now I know what you're saying. Hey, what happens if the spectator spreads down past it? I know sometimes I have difficult spectators because I have poor crowd management skills, and I perform in a school, and I need to get all the ladies impressed. Pigcake, help me, help me. What do? Well, you just revert to the first thing that I showed you, the spread call. You notice that when you spread past it and the spectator's not touching a card, all you got to do is call that card. And now you have them touch any card they want. And guess what? You're good to go, because you could force that card. Ever heard of ingenuity? Because I have it. So you could combine methods here. You could definitely combine methods and you're good to go. So that's the spread call force and the Gary Ouellette touch force. Oh boy, man, what an amalgam of terrific. I'm getting Tourette's from just literally doing this tutorial. What an amalgam of terrific forces. So this next one's a personal favorite of mine. I don't want to say this is original, because obviously nothing's original, but I did independently come up with this. Now I know when I say that, it sounds like you're full of shit. I'm aware that things and people existed way before me in the world of magic, and this is so simple that somebody definitely has come up with this and written an entire dissertation on it. But in my head, I was very proud of all the work that I've put into this particular force, and I have a lot of little tidbits and a lot of little things that I've added to this throughout the years, ways of doing it with multiple spectators, doing multiple controls. It's definitely something that I spent a lot of time working on and neglecting vagina. So here's the actual movement itself. All we're doing is we're spreading through the cards and having the spectator call stop whenever they want. All right there, perfect. Remember that card. Don't forget it, sir. Here, mix up the cards. So this is what I call the spread force. It's just what I call the spread force. And all we're doing is we're cutting the cards so that this is a force card and it's just cut. We have a pinky break right there below it. Now we're gonna spread the cards this way to the spectator with the cards being parallel to your body. we're going to spread them and have them call stop whenever they want. Now here, the timing is a little bit important because this is essentially a timing, non-timing force. I'll get to what I mean by that. But you're going to spread the cards like this towards the spectator, and you're going to say, in a moment, what I want you to do is just call stop whenever it is that you want. Now here, I'm almost at the card that I want to force. So by the time I've given that instruction, I'm already pretty much almost there at the force card itself. Now, it doesn't matter necessarily because you're going to see that the technique essentially cleans it up anyways, but it is helpful to be close to it just for the sake of timing. Now, you're going to time it so that you're saying, I'm going to spread through the cards. I just want you to call stop anytime you want. Now here, wherever it is they call stop, whenever I see their lips about to move, all I'm going to do is use my dirty thumb to spread and push all the cards above the break so that then I could get to my force card. So at speed, it just looks like this. So in a moment, I'm just going to run through these. I just want you to call stop anytime you want. Stop right there. Take a look at your card. Don't forget it. And please also shower because I smell you from here. So whatever it is that you want to do when it comes to a little bit of a force there. But it's going to be essentially a timing force that's not essentially based on timing, because at this point, whenever the spectator says stop, all you're doing is just pushing all the cards to the side and saying that one or this one. Now you could give them the option of this one, because all you need to do at that point is just square it up and then tell them to shuffle the deck and get a little bit of a peek. So either way, you're golden. It doesn't matter if you miss this force, you could just keep going and have them call stop on any card and just get your peek that way. So there's a lot of things you could do in the case of this force, even if it goes wrong, even if they decide to not call stop until you're pretty much near the end of the deck. But more likely than not, based on the timing of this, you're gonna nail it pretty much every single time on the card that they pick. Now, what I like about this particular force is that you could do it looking completely away. So it just looks like you have no control over the cards. And if you give an attitude of, oh, this doesn't matter, just, you know, call stop anytime you want, it really does seem like they could have picked any card whatsoever. And you could say at that point you have a card in mind because you never took a card out of the deck. You just have a card in your mind, which is technically true. So I think that's those are all the forces. You got 3 nice forces that are definitely well suited. Oh man, the Tourette's is really hard in this video. Well suited for performance, and you're going to be able to do these forces and impress the minds of most spectators. You're going to have a group of spectators that you're not going to impress, and those are the ones with vaginas. So make sure to do all the things that people do. I have a little bit of a podcast that I do with a friend of mine. I don't say a friend because I want to shoot him in the face every time I do it. Make sure to go and subscribe to that channel. It's called Ham Radio if you're not aware of it. The link is going to be in the description below. If you wait to the end of the video, it's going to be up here somewhere and you can click on it and subscribe. We talk about all sorts of things, not just magic related stuff, but also life related stuff. And I think it's an interesting thing. So make sure to check it out. And I don't know, just subscribe. Trick YouTube into thinking that it's a better channel than it actually is. It takes a second. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to go figure out different ways to use blue tape to fix my blue balls. A hole in my face. I have another hole in my face. God damn. Man, puberty. I've seen a bunch of people that they have like craters in their face. So thank God I wasn't. I'm not one of those. But man, 2 is bad enough. Look at that. 2 is bad enough. Look at that fucking whatever that is. You could fuck that. Some of you guys can fuck that. Look at that. Oh boy.